Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Pada Padme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhu. Om Bhadram Karne Vishnuya Devaha Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stuštuvagum Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitanyadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhatu Om Shanti 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 Hare Om. Om. O gods, may we always hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes always see what is auspicious. May we live our allotted life hale and hearty, offering our worship unto thee. May Indra of ancient fame bestow auspiciousness on all of us. May the all-nourishing portion be propitious to all of us. May Garuda, the destroyer of all evil, be well disposed towards all of us. May Brihaspati ensure all our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. So we have entered into the very beautiful teaching of Advaita Vedanta, especially the topic of causality. We will just recollect very briefly what we have been discussing earlier. This world which we are experiencing, and we are experiencing this world through our body and mind, especially through the mind and the material with which this mind is made. It is called time, space, and causation. It is like looking through a colored glass. As soon as we look through a colored glass, whether the object we are looking at is colored or not, it appears to be colored only. So what does time, space, and causation mean? It means duality. It means manifoldness. So I am separate, everything else is separate. That is why Vedanta, for our convenience, divided all our experiences into two classes, the subject and the object. Subject is one, everything else is manifold, uncountable, almost infinite, not really infinite, but manyness. So then as soon as we look at something, relationship comes. Causality is nothing but relationship. Everything we see. Two friends walking together jovially, there is a relationship. And what is the relationship here? Jovial relationship. Two enemies are glaring at each other, seeking an opportunity to annihilate each other. So what is the causality here? It is they hate each other, dvesha. The first example, two friends, raga. So we see causality. Two people are so happy, so they must be very near, loving, attached to each other. So whatever object, a person is having a beautiful car. So what is the relationship? Owner and owned. Like this, everything where there are two, where there are many, relationship is there. That is why philosophy uses a very technical word. What we call world, Jagat, in this philosophical language, it is called the world of relationships. You cannot imagine a subject without object. Remove the object, subject disappears. Remove the subject, object disappears. So everything is either divided or unified, either harmonious or inharmonious. A relationship is there. One of the most important ideas of relationship is called the creator created. This is the topic, the subject, which we have been trying to explore. So many philosophers, they have tremendous differences of opinion with regard to this causality. If it is Advaita, pure monistic philosophy, non-duality, since there is only one, is a very, very important point. Many times we use it. If there is one, there cannot be any relationship. At least minimum there should be two objects, father and son, mother and daughter, brother and sister, etc. Subject and object, like that. So the what is called dualistic religions, Dvaita, Visishtadvaita, and everything that doesn't accept Advaita is called Dvaita. They have some internal differences, but they're all called dualistic philosophies. And all dualistic philosophies have got monotheistic view. What is monotheistic view? This is, really speaking, a side topic, but it is very important. As some very intelligent philosophers have discussed very nicely, all wars, everything, killing each other, is only because of monotheism. Why is it so? Because some people believe, and they believe without reason. Rationality is less, fanatical belief is more. That's why they're called fanatics. The idea of God I have is superior to the idea of God you have. And so my God should be worshipped by you. So I will convert you into my opinion. This is called fanaticism. This is what Sri Ramakrishna had incarnated to remove that every type of belief, provided a person is sincere, is extremely helpful. Just like a child, he can only crawl at first, then with the help of a wall or somebody, or holding the hand of mother or somebody grown up, slowly takes faltering steps. And then he grows up, learns how to balance, and slowly walks without any help. And then he starts running, jumping, overcoming obstacles, so many things he can do. So if anybody is fanatical enough to say that the child is growing up wrong because he is holding on to things and he should never use that one, this stupid person who has such claims, he has forgotten he or she themselves, himself, herself, have grown up exactly in the same way. So it is a continuous growth. So Dvaita to Visishtadvaita, Visishtadvaita to Advaita, Advaita to complete no discussion, no philosophy. Because very curious thing is, even Advaita is a product of the mind. Really speaking, the absolute cannot be thought, mano, vacha, agocharam, yato vacho nivartante, namo namo prabhu, vakya mana atita, etc. So we forget, we tend to forget. So this causality works only, first of all, only in dualistic religions. We see everything in this world has a cause. Somebody has a car. So there must be a creator of a car. It can be Toyota, it can be Ambassador, it can be Mitsubishi, whatever it is, Cadillac, whatever it is. Somebody is the creator, something is created. So whatever, whether it is mobile, whether it is a laptop, iPad, anything, there is a causal relationship is there. Food is cooked and there is a material which is cookable, and a person takes that one and then cooks it, makes it fit for us to eat. Everywhere there are two, there is a causal relationship. Now, Gaudapada, representing the highest thought of Advaita Vedanta, wants to make it clear. He was not a fanatic. Advaitins can never be fanatics. We have seen earlier that Advaitin has no quarrel. He declared clearly, we have no quarrel with anybody. Let the Satkaryavadins, Asatkaryavadins, that means dualists, let them quarrel with themselves. We have no quarrel because we know every stage of thought is a process of growing first, then outgrowing a lower stage, entering into a higher stage. And when that person grows, then that lower stage is discarded until we reach that which is unknowable, unthinkable, inexperienceable, etc. So, when there is something, even to say one is a marvelous product of rationality, don't say it is one. Ishvara is one. Oneness means, how do you know what is one? Because you have the idea. If two objects are there, that is two. More than two, it is three, four, etc. So, but here there is only one. It is only against the idea. The opposite of manyness is called one. And whether I call it one or many, still I am in the causal world only. So everything in this world, a cause. Now, when we say Advaita, that is why the word Advaita is a negative prefix, na Dvaita. Instead of saying oneness, says non-duality. Because as I just now we are discussing, the moment you say one, you are aware of two or more than two. No, this is something which cannot be described. Non-duality can never be described. But something that cannot be described, something that is not experienceable, is called unmanifest. And just because something is non-experienceable, it does not prove that it doesn't exist. So many things which we don't experience, but we don't say that they do not exist. That highest manifestation of existence is none other than me. And if I say I am Brahman, really speaking, that falls under duality only. Because who is going to say I am Brahman? To whom is he? Why should I say? Because I see another fellow whom I think is ignorant fellow. And if I see another ignorant person, I am much more ignorant than that person. At least he knows he is not ignorant person. He doesn't say I am ignorant, but I am saying you are ignorant. I am a knowledgeable person. This is also to deny pure non-duality, Advaita. A person, mind is not there, so the speech is not there, nothing is there, expressionless, Even maunam, that is also duality only. So to say, I am maunam, observing maunam, because I can't. You are thinking in your mind something, I am superior. These fellows are babblers, but I am a mauni. Even that is also, whatever we do through body, through mind, is equally false, and we every day we experience. Simplest way of understanding this is a deep sleep. Do you think that I am not in the waking state? Do you think that I am not in the dream state? At least do you say I am in the deep sleep state? Not to be aware of all these things, but awareness, pure awareness, identifying with pure awareness, I am. Even deep sleep state, you cannot do anything, you cannot say. Only upon waking up, then duality becomes more pronounced, and then only we can express it. This is the idea Gaudapada wants to say. Since there is no creation at all Srishtivadas are irrelevant. So the whole debate is what we are experiencing. Experiencing means experiencer, experienced duality. It is all mithya. It is not satya. But every mithya is possible only when there is the substratum of satya. So until now, this is what we are discussing. In our last class, I have stopped it. Gaudapada, while telling this 40th Karika shloka, he says there are only two possibilities in the realm of rationality, duality. What is that? Ultimately, we have to transcend even this duality of our concept of reality. What a mind boggling idea. We are talking our head off about reality. What is reality? What is not reality? Even this Gaudapadas talking about what is real and what is unreal. Both are unreal from the highest standpoint. But expression is needed for the sake of teaching. And that is what a Muni emphasizes. I'm not speaking. Don't take it. This is what simply Sri Ramakrishna expressed with such profound depth. Everything in this world has become polluted, excepting Brahman. Now, some Prabuddhas are there. They will get doubt. Sri Ramakrishna used the word Brahman is unpollutable. So, since it came from his mouth, the word Brahman has become polluted or not? Definitely it is polluted. Because if an Englishman who doesn't know Sanskrit or any Indian language, if he says instead of Brahman, how will you understand? So, what is meant is to express, to convey, to teach. We necessarily have to use dualistic language, but we must be aware this is a dualistic language. It is only as a pointer, as a sign, as a linga, we call it sign. Walk that way. we always have to keep that in mind. And that is what Gaudapada wants to say. There are only two possibilities are there. What is it? Either something is real or something is not real. Now, very fine intellect is necessary to understand this concept of real and unreal. Just now I reminded you, the moment we say real, we have the opposite idea, what is unreal. So when we are given the example of the rope and the snake, immediately this we have to understand. The rope is real and the snake is unreal. But if you go into advanced Vedanta, the rope is also as unreal as the snake itself. But we are not going that far now. So for the sake of illustrating, and every illustration is for the sake of clarifying. Whatever we think Whatever we speak, it is all falls under dualism only. Keep this in background. So Gaudapada tells two things. What is it? If you are accepting causality, then it implies two things. Something is the creator, something is the created. So there is a creator, there is a created, and there is a relationship of causality. Creator is the cause, created is the effect. Now, there are two possibilities. If we take ultimately two concepts, reality and unreality, that is what he wants to clarify it. I know this talk is sometimes very confusing, confusing only because we have not developed deep thought. So Gaudapada says, oh, ignorant man, you have only two options. What is it? The real cannot produce real. The real cannot be cause of the real. Real cannot be the cause of the unreal. The unreal cannot be the cause of the unreal. And the unreal also cannot be the cause of real. The whole of the theory of causation is completely smashed. Very briefly, we will discuss about it because the future karikas are only to elaborate, to make it a little more clear. Supposing there is a reality, it cannot produce reality. Why? Because where is the need? A pot cannot produce another pot because pot is already there. So the pot cannot produce non-pot because pot, a real something, can never produce unreal. Now I can only hint at it. You will have to understand. This is what is called if you think there is a real pot, real one real pot cannot produce another real pot because pot doesn't come from pot. If you think pot comes from pot, it means you have gone to pot. So pot cannot produce a real pot. Can it produce unreal pot? No, that is not possible. Similarly, suppose there is an unreal pot. Suppose there is a unreal pot. Unreal pot. Unreal pot means what? A pot that doesn't exist. So if there is something non-existing, it cannot produce anything existing. Out of nothing, something cannot come. Even nothing can come because it is an illusion. So out of non-existence, something, an illusory something. For example, a magician can produce an illusory ladder and he can climb also. But that illusory ladder cannot produce another illusory ladder, nor much less a real ladder, because illusory something doesn't exist at all. So what are the arguments? The real need not produce anything because that is real. The unreal cannot produce because it doesn't exist. An existing thing cannot produce another existing thing. A non-existing cannot produce another non-existing thing because it is non-existent. To produce something, it must be existent. I hope I am not confusing you too much. These are the arguments. The real, the unreal cannot have the unreal as its cause, nor can the real be produced from the unreal. The real cannot be the cause of the real, and it is much more impossible for the real to be the cause of the unreal. This was what we have been talking in our last class. Nasti asat hetukam asat, sat asad hetukam tatha, sat cha sad hetukam nasti, sat hetukam asat krita. Do not worry about this Sanskrit words. With this background, we'll move to the Karika 41. If you don't understand, it is not really very important. But why this concept of causality is taught in the scriptures? Because every scripture tells Ishvara is the Srishtikarta, the world is from the Ishvara comes Panchabhutas, Panchatanmatras, and Panchabhuta and Panchatanmatra are the real material out of which this entire body-mind complex has been made again and again and again in practically in every Upanishad. The whole of the Aitareya Upanishad is nothing but talking how this comes. And Kaivalya Upanishad also we are seeing this Uma Sahayam, Parameshwaram, Trinetram, Neelakantam, etc. And if you see, look at Mother Kali, she is nothing but a manifestation of the world, Varahasta, Abhayahasta, and Layahasta. Srishti Sthiti Vinashanam Shakti Bhute Sanatana. So in the 41th, the same thing is continued. Viparyasat yatha jagrat achintyan bhutavat sprishet tatha swapne viparyasat dharman tatraiva pashyati. Again and again, every Advaitin gives the best possible example to point out in the right direction of right understanding is this relationship between the waking and the dream state. So what does this 41th mean? As one in the waking state, which is we call Jagrada Avastha, through false knowledge, handles as real objects whose nature cannot be described. Similarly, in dream also, one perceives through false knowledge objects whose existence is possible in that condition alone. Now, to understand this, first I will give you one example which is applicable to both the waking as well as the dream state. Now, we can mistake many times. Perhaps you met a person after a long time, and the resemblance of this person to one who you know many, many years back, maybe your childhood companion. Immediately it reminds you exact same face cut, etc., etc. And then you are so happy, you are elated, excited, run towards that person. Are you so and so? That person looks blank and says, what are you talking about? My name is different. I'm a different person. Perhaps you are mistaking me for somebody else. But the familiar example is under semi darkness, we mistake, we see a snake. Only when light is brought, we know. Now, what is Gaudapada driving at? He says, this mistaking something as something else, this is called adhyasa, superimposition. It is inexplicable. You can't explain why it takes place. How it takes place, yes. But why it takes place, no. You cannot give any explanation. So, but another example I gave you, you are walking at night by a crematorium and suddenly the shadow of a swaying branch, suddenly there will be a huge ghost laughing at you. And just the first moment of mistake creates a real ghost, and it is sneering at you, and it is running towards you, and your imagination also runs riot, and then you are terrified, and the more terrified, the more real it becomes. And then somehow you reach home and you understand, oh my God, I escaped that ghost, and you go to sleep, and exactly you see the same ghost chasing you in the darkness, in the dream also. So in the dream you are seeing, you are trying to escape, and it is overtaking you, caught you by the scrap of your neck, and it is shaking you like anything, and then it has dropped you, and you fell down from your bed. You wake up, what a relief. This is nothing but a dream. What is the point? The point is how it takes place. This is a description what we just now taught. But why it takes place, It is neither real nor unreal. This is called mithya. What is mithya? You cannot say it is unreal. Why? Because it is negated when after some time, after seeing a snake, you are quaking, shaking, making noise, somebody brings a light, and immediately you see the rope and everything, all the effects will be going. So you cannot say it is real, because the definition of reality is whatever never changes, that is real. But at the same time, you cannot say it is unreal also. Why? Because if there is something unreal, unreal means non-existing. Non-existing means you don't see any snake at all. You neither see the rope nor see the snake. This marvelous analysis of our day-to-day mistaken experiences is astounding, how our ancestors thought about it. So if it is clear light, you don't mistake, you see the rope. If it is a deep darkness, you don't see the rope also, hence you cannot have superimposition also. Therefore, you have nothing. You blissfully you carry on. It is only when there is semi-darkness this problem arises. So, what is mithya? That which is neither real nor unreal, neither sat asadbhyam vilakshanaha, as the Vedanta Sara or Tattva Bodha puts it. If it is unreal, we can never experience. If it is real, it should be always like that. But our perception, our experience of a snake is only temporary for some time. Then it is negated, it is sublated. Then we see the rope, and this is what Gaudapada wants to drive at. So, what is the point here? Very subtle reasoning power, that even in the waking state, whatever we experience need not be absolutely real. So, like that, whatever we see, another example comes to my mind. In the waking state, we see a person walking, we see a bird flying, and then you go to sleep. These two things are put together. You see a person. Suddenly, the wings of the bird are attached to that person, and he is flapping his wings, and he is hovering above your house and laughing at you, sneering at you, and you experience. And then you are wondering, how did this fellow have the ability to fly? In fact, many of us have also dreamt like that. I myself dreamt quite a number of times that I am hovering above my house and looking here and there. What freedom! The moment thought comes, I want to say, I find myself there. And this is also not reality. Therefore, what is wanted, in fact, very interesting. When the Wright brothers were experimenting with these aeroplanes, they tied themselves with huge flaps and they started jumping from a hilltop and then flapping the wings, trying to fly like a bird. And that is how they have succeeded ultimately. How many accidents they had, people don't understand. Slowly, other people took it up from there and they created an engine and it overcame the force of gravity. And slowly now they have discovered even satellites which surpass the speed of the sound. So they're also trying to put, as uh, France had created an aeroplane many years back. Of course, it had an accident. It could reach Paris to New York in less than 3 hours time. So what is meant is that weird things which we know very well cannot exist, are experienceable, but whatever is experienceable need not be taken as real. So this is the explanation that he wants to say, Gaudapada wants to say in this part 1. As one in the waking state, through false knowledge, handles as real objects whose nature can never be described. For example, what are the characteristics of the mithya snake? But don't use the word mithya while experiencing snake. Only subsequently, when the rope is seen in the light from the viewpoint of the rope, this snake is what we call mithya. But temporarily, it is there and then it disappears. Whatever is temporarily existing is mithya. This definition we must always keep in mind. So a baby is born, and after some time, the baby can die, young man can die, old man can die. So that which exists temporarily for a moment, for 100 years, for 5,000 years, it is all mithya. Whatever is everlasting, that means beyond time, that means beyond change, that alone is called Satyam, which is so beautifully expressed. Trikala abadhitam Satyam. That which falls within time, within space, within causation. In fact, causation means expression of time. So the curd was not there before, and we put something in the milk, warm milk, and after a few hours, it transfers. There was a beginning of the process of curdling, and there is an end. And so the milk has become transformed, and that is the effect of time, space, and causation. What is space here? That is, if you want to make this milk in Iceland, you have to adopt some other method. If we want to do it in Chennai, no problem at all. Now, of course, nowadays, they have created some machines. So it maintains a kind of flask, curd making machines. So you put this, what you call that curd seed, and then for a few hours, because it maintains unvarying temperature, you can get beautiful curds out of it if the external temperature is not convenient for us, suitable for us. Man can discover many things. So this verse, Shankara says, intends to remove the slightest possibility of the causal relation between the waking and dream state. That means from the Advaitic point of view, absolutely there is no causal relationship. Why? Because remember, in our last class, even Vedanta claims whatever we experience in the waking state alone is dreamt of with some combinations, just as I gave the example. We see man, we see a bird, and in Swapna, we make a khichodi, and then man is flying. So, this is the causal relationship. Waking samskara is the cause, and dream object is the effect. There is no such a relationship because both are false. Why are both false? And Gaudapadacharya wants experience. This, as soon as a person wakes up, he knows very clearly that whatever the person experienced in the dream state, many verses we have seen, he has gone to America and he has a huge elephant entered into his tiniest room. So time and space cannot have any relationship with what he was experiencing. So by that, Swapna is proved unreal. What about waking? Because the same dream continues. When the dream is temporary, when an experience is very temporary, that is what we call dream. When the same experience continues as it were, that is what we call waking state. So waking state also is equally unreal. What is the logic? Anything that is bound by time and space and causation is unreal. Anything that is temporary is unreal. Anything that is changing is unreal. Anything that depends. Now, in this case, our consciousness, awareness, is the one which experiences both the waking and dream. If we are not conscious, for example, a person in coma neither experiences a waking state nor a dream state. So the waking awareness and the dream awareness is common. And this awareness functions through the mind. So Gaudapada's conclusion is, why do we say both are equally unreal? Because anything that is experienced by the mind is unreal. Anything that is experienceable by the mind through the medium of the mind is mithya, unreal. Mithya means unreal. But we should never forget the fundamental principle. A mithya must have a substratum, and that substratum is called satyam. Never forget. Without satyam, without a real rope, for example, there can be no illusion of a snake at all. Therefore, Shankaracharya commenting says, from the Paramarthika view, from the viewpoint of Brahman, which is unchanging, beyond time, waking state is also unreal. But from the waking state point, dream also is unreal. Two things really are unreal, even from the waking state points of view. What are the two things? First thing is a dream. We know that. Second thing is mistaking somebody for somebody else, mistaking a rope for a snake, etc., and mistaking so many others are there. I quoted earlier, and it bears some truth. This is called Shobhana Dhyasa. What is it? We see mirage, and we see silver in a silver shell, which is shining like a silver, burnished silver, especially when the sunlight falls upon the shell. It is a coating and it shines. Immediately it reminds us of silver. And then we think, before anybody can grab it, I will go and grab it. So this is, nobody can explain this one. This is one. So dream is mistaking something which we experience in the waking state, but seeing a mirage, etc., is called arthadhyasa. Mistake in our mind is called gnanadhyasa. And there is something called shobhanadhyasa, that is illusion of happiness. What is it? If I can marry this man, my whole life I will be like a divine damsel. Damsel and damness have got very close connection. After marriage only, the girl wakes up and says, what a mistake I have committed. Anyway, you must have noticed I changed a little bit instead of man to woman. So these are important points. And what we want to say, so what is mithya? If it be really existent, that it cannot cease to exist. And if it is non-existent, it cannot appear as existing. This is called anirvachaniya. Nirvachana means definition. Anirvachaniya means impossible to define. And that is what is called mithya. Sat asadbhyam vilakshanaha mithya. We will go to the next karika. Upalambat samachara asti vastutvadinam jatistu deshita buddhaihi ajatehe trasatam sada. Very, very practical. This one we are coming to. Wise men support causality only for the sake of those who, being afraid of the absolute non-manifestation or non-creation, stick to the apparent reality of external objects, external world, on account of their experience of such objects, and so they have deep faith in religious observances. This verse, this karika, is very important. As we know, Veda is divided into three parts actually, though only two parts are taught. First is called Karma Kanda, rituals. Second is called Upasana Kanda. It comes both in Karma Kanda as well as in Jnana Kanda. And third is Jnana Kanda. And you must have understood this thing by now. Now, what is important here, and that is very important for us to understand, there are some people who think this world is still real. They may go to an Advaitin Guru and they have faith in the Guru. They accept, Guruji, whatever you are teaching is absolutely right. It cannot be wrong. I have that faith. But at my present state of development, I am unable to understand. And if he is a wise Guru, not otherwise Guru, the Guru also will say, okay, now you stick to your rituals. And wherever there is a dualistic world, that means a sincere person who believes in the scriptures, he believes in causality. If I do this action, then this result will follow. This is called Karma Siddhanta. If I do this Yajna Yaga, I will go to Svargaloka. If 100 yajnas are done, I will go to Brahmaloka. Is it unreal? No. In the unreal world, this is a reality. Karma Siddhanta works in the unreal world to the hilt, 100%. If your donation is a rotten cucumber, you will get back 2 rotten cucumbers as your punya phala. But if you have sacrificed like Sibi, like Bali Chakravarti, you will get Bali Chakravarti has sacrificed. That is why it is a true symbolic story of Bali. Bali means sacrifice. What did Bali do? When Vamana, Bhagavan himself had come and said, my child, you are not my child, you are me, you are myself. But to make him realize that, you give everything of yours. Three things you give. You give me your gross body, you give me your subtle body, you give me your causal body. And when a jiva is deprived of these 3 bodies, that person's jivatva also disappears. He remains only completely as Brahman. This is the symbolism. And to seal, Bhagavan Vishnu puts his own footprints on the head of the Bali, and this is what we are all supposed to do. Tanu, Mana, Dhana, I and mine, everything should be given up. This is the meaning of Homa, this is the meaning of Yajna, this is the meaning of Puja, this is the meaning of Karma Yoga, Shiva Gnane, Jiva Shiva. So for the people who are not able to ascend to that level of understanding of Brahman, this world is accepted, but causality, the theory of causality is proposed. What for? God created, and there is an invariable relationship. Whatever is the cause must be the effect, and God is Amruta. And if God is the cause and God is Amruta, what he created must be, the effect must be Amruta only. That is the meaning of Shrunvantu Vishwe Amrutasya Putraha. From the viewpoint of causality, so whether a wise guru, scripture never attacks the sincere aspirant. On the other hand, you are right, the world is real, Bhagavan is the creator, but you must understand, he can be only good, he can be only Sat, he can be only Chit, he can be only Ananda Swarupa. So since you are in effect, you are also existing Sat, you must be good, you must be wise, you must be Ananda, you must be happiness. Slowly, step by step, you will take first Devaloka, then Indraloka, then Prajapati Loka, then Hiranyagarbha Loka, finally Brahmaloka, finally Brahman's Loka. Gradual evolution, God never denies. That is why every deity that we see, we visit, we have got Vara, Abhaya. And then only left side we forget Srishti symbol, Sthiti symbol, Laya symbol, we never look at it. That which is manifest must become again, go out of existence, manifestation. That is what practical Vedanta. So this is what he wants to say in this 42nd verse. Karika, wise men support causality. For whom? Only for the sake of those people who are very sincere, but who cannot grasp the idea of Brahman, and because they can only understand the reality of the world. My body is real, my mind is real, external world is real. They have to accept causality, and the Sadguru, he accepts that and says, now you worship, you Shiva Gnane Jiva Shiva, you do practice Karma Yoga, practice Bhakti Yoga, practice Raja Yoga, practice Gnana Yoga, and gradually you will also reach a state when you will be ready. Remember, even Sri Ramakrishna, when Totapuri told him, rise above the mind, remove the thoughts means rise above the mind. He says, I cannot do it because I cannot remove the thought of my Prasasvatana, Divine Mother, Saguna Brahma. Then Totapuri taught him a lesson, and then by the grace of the Divine Mother, he rose, he went beyond the mind. All thoughts stopped there. And then when there is no body, when there is no mind, remember in deep sleep, there is still causal body is there. But when a person goes beyond the mind, all the sthula, sukshma, karana, shariras are left. In fact, they do not exist. Then what remains is nirvikalpa samadhi. And Totapuri was shocked. Kya daivi maya hai? What I took 40 years, and this man had attained it. So what is the essence of this 42nd Karika? That the scriptures, the Sadgurus, they never teach anything beyond the comprehension of sincere sadhakas. They will, on the contrary, encourage causality is real because Srishti is real, Sthiti is real, Karma Siddhanta is real, and but you only move from a lower state to a higher state, and this moving from lower to higher states is called Karma Yoga Bhakti. It is called Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Gnana Yoga. They never falsify it. But when a person reaches that state of Brahmakara Vritti, then like Totapuri, he said, now is the time for you to go beyond your mind. So Advaita is no problem with rituals, pujas, homas. It's Devaloka, Brahmaloka, Prajapati Loka. They're all existing. That's what Ramana Bhagavan had said in answer to somebody's question, do Brahmaloka, etc., really exist? And his cute, very, very crystal clear answer is, if you think this world is real, then that so long, that world also is real. I will stop here. Any questions, I'll be happy to deal. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. May the Ramakrishna Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda bless us all with bhakti. Jai Ramakrishna.